Hello and welcome to Drpeel Music Channel Talk Series, my solo podding in the internet. Today I thought that I should talk about my guitars. The first guitar I bought and why I bought it and what kind of guitars I have bought since then. And that is the main subject for today's pod. And if you have any own experience and thoughts about this, please leave a comment below and we can have a discussion about different guitars and so on. So I will start with the first guitar I bought, and now I'm talking about electric guitars because when I started out 5 years ago to learn to play guitar, I started out with a broken acoustic guitar. That was not a fun experience at all, and but that was what I had in the beginning, and I bought a cheap acoustic guitar to really learn the basic chords and so on. But when I first bought my electric guitar, it was a Epiphone Dot, and why did I buy this guitar? I didn't have any references when I started, and when I bought a guitar it was not like I want that guitar. I didn't know. I knew there were a lot of different guitars and so on, and but I didn't have any thoughts about just this one is the one I want to have and so on. I had some clue because I was interested in a semi-hollow body, a semi-acoustic with a semi-hollow body with F holes, because that was my memory of the Jesus and Mary Chain in the 80s, when they, in the music videos and the concerts and so on, I saw a large hollow body guitar with F holes. So that was something that that was my starting point. No other reasons. I didn't know anything about pickups and center blocks and full hollow body and solid body and scale lengths or different sounds and so on. I just, hey, let's buy an electric guitar. So I bought an Epiphone Dot. It was really cheap, I think about $300 maybe. And when I got it, I realized that playing an electric guitar is a little bit different than playing an acoustic. You can play it the same way, but to get a good sound with a crunch or distortion, you need to play it in a certain way to make it sound really good, and you can play solo parts in another way and so on. So that was a big step for me, going from acoustic to electric, just to how to approach the guitar. And to be honest, the Epiphone Dot is a quite large guitar. It's got a big size body, and it's not easy when you are a beginner to have this large guitar in your and try to learn to because I wasn't comfortable with having a guitar in my hands. I hadn't come to that point yet, but I thought it was really good looking guitar. It was really nice, and it sounded good. Now I understand it is humbucker pickups, but I didn't have any clue about that when I bought it. So the Epiphone Dot was my go-to guitar when I tried, and I think it's what is really good about it is that it's very versatile guitar. You can play jazz, blues, rock, hard rock, and so on. It's very capable of different sounds. So in that perspective, it's a really good guitar. And yeah, when I started to play guitar, I mean, I tried to learn the basic chords and keep up with the chord changes in time and so on. So that was a struggle, and it was not easy. That shouldn't be easy with any guitar. I mean, it's practice, 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 and so on. And after a couple of months, I thought I wanted a smaller guitar that I could have sitting in the sofa or in a chair in the living room in the evening, without plugging it into any amps and so on, just sitting in front of the TV and have the guitar unplugged in my knee and just practicing short chord changes and scales and different chord fingerings and voicings. So I bought a very cheap Squier Telecaster model, and I think I played that one for several months without even plugging it into an amplifier. So I just sat with it silently and practicing chord changes and scales and so on. But that was more a comfortable guitar, and it worked out well just to sit in the evenings in front of the TV and just learning and practicing. So, but when I plugged it into an amplifier, I realized that it had a little bit different sound than the Epiphone Dot. It was a little bit more aggressive sound, and it has a tele-twang sound in it. So even if it's a cheap guitar with no special pickups and so on, but I learned the difference between single coil and humbuckers and how they fit well in different kind of situations and so on. And I really liked the Telecaster single coil sound and the way to play it. It's an easy and comfortable guitar to play as a beginner, I think. So now I had two electric guitars, and I really love them both. And at this point, I went from the stage where I tried to learn chord changes and so on to I want to play blues and jazz, and that was maybe aiming a little bit high, to be honest, because you need to have a lot of practice and timing and feeling the chord changes and different voicings and chord settings and so on. You should have that fluently before you can actually try to get blues and jazz rhythm to be solid and really in time and so on. So that I'm still practicing on those things. But at this point, when I bought the Telecaster, I started to look at my old heroes and new heroes in the music world. And Dinosaur Jr. with Jay Mascis is one of my absolute favorite guitarists. And and also Sonic Youth and other groups. And they got Jazzmasters, and I think, yes, I want the Jazzmaster. So I really looked at different web shops. I was in the thought that I wanted a Fender Jazzmaster, not the Squier Jazzmaster. And today I think there are a lot of good Squier Jazzmasters, and I think there's a lot of good Squier Telecasters as well. So I think for me, I shouldn't be focusing, and my recommendation is not to focus on the headstock, what the headstock says. Listen to the guitar and how the playability is and how it sounds and how you like the feeling of the guitar and so on. That is far more important than buying a guitar just for its name or brand. But however, I bought a Fender Jazzmaster. It was the Vintera series with the 60s model they had back in 2020, autumn 2020, I think it was. And I like the offset guitar of Jazzmaster and the sound of it and the whole Jazzmaster thing about it. So and I think if I listen to Dinosaur Jr., Sonic Youth and that kind of music, a Jazzmaster is really a guitar that I like, and I like to play, and it looks good, and it's something that I really want to have. So now I had a Jazzmaster as well, and my first thought was that this is going to be my everyday guitar. I won't let it out of my hands. I will play it day and night. But I didn't do that really. I had my Epiphone Dot and my Telecaster and my Jazzmaster, and I altered them depending on what I was playing and what I felt to play just that day and so on. But now I had opened up my eyes for more knowledge about guitars, and I was thinking that these Les Paul guitars, they sounds good or look good, and maybe they are also classic rock and roll guitars. So I was looking out for a Les Paul style of guitar. I mean, a Gibson Les Paul is a little bit too expensive. I know there are a lot of variation in the price range, but I think that the cheapest ones are a little bit too expensive, because when I buy a guitar, I think on the level I am and the knowledge I have about playing guitar, I can't spend too much money on a guitar. That it's better than to buy more several different guitars than one expensive. So I had to think in those ways. So I looked at an Epiphone Les Paul model, and I found Epiphone Les Paul 60 style, also 60 style, and a black one with pro buckers, and yeah, that there are something about humbuckers, and when they got a real good punch, and they are fat sounding and so on. So I'm kind of really like the humbucker sound, and when you turn it on distortion and really dig through the strings, it's got a lovely sound, and it's really nice sounding. Yeah, but on the other hand, I really like the Jazzmaster as well. So if I should pick two guitars that I really like, is a Les Paul and Jazzmaster. But that is my opinion. So at this time, I also was thinking about a jazz guitar, a jazz box, a full hollow body guitar. So I bought an Ibanez Artcore Dark Sunburst. I don't know the actual model name for it, but and that guitar I have sold. Now I haven't got it in my possession anymore. And but it was really good. It was kind of a small guitar. It was a jazz box, full hollow body, but it was the size of a Les Paul guitar, but it was a little thicker than a Les Paul, of course. And I put some flat wounds strings on it, and yeah, it was really nice to have as a jazz guitar, and you could actually even play other styles as blues and rock on it, as well as with every guitar out there. You can play almost everything with all guitars if you really want. But that jazz box I sold because I had to get rid of some musical instruments. I couldn't have too many things, so I sold it. And but then I was looking into the Gretsch area, and Gretsch, they are some kind. When you talk about Gretsch guitars, this is my experience anyway. When you're talking about Gretsch guitars, a lot of people have their first thought about it. This is Chet Atkins, it is Stray Cats, it's rockabilly, it's that kind of music style. So it doesn't fit in other. But for me, the Gretsch guitar more relates to the Jesus and Mary Chain, which in the start, when they started their career, had a Gretsch Tennessee model full hollow body guitar, and that contributed to the feedback and distortion sound, in a lot drenched in reverb and so on, and that pretty much formed their sound, plugged into a fuzz pedal as well. So and the Cramps also, another reference for Gretsch. So that was my take on why I think I want a Gretsch guitar. So I bought a Gretsch Electromatic full hollow body guitar, and with the Bixby and so on. And yeah, it's Filtertron pickups, low output, and yeah, it's a wonderful guitar. It's really nice and really fun to play. But in some way, a full hollow body is special to play on, and so most of the time, of all the guitars I have, I play the Jazzmaster or the Les Paul, and maybe the Epiphone Dot. Those are the three guitars that I mainly play, and then also the Gretsch comes in. And last year I also bought another Jazzmaster. It was the Vintera 2 series, the 50s model of the Jazzmaster, and that was a really nice guitar, and it sounds fantastic, and it got 50 style pickups, and it's got the rosewood fretboard, and it's amazing sounding, and that one I really like a lot, and I played that Jazzmaster a lot more than the first Jazzmaster I bought. So that is pretty much the guitars I have today, and I'm always looking for other guitars and new guitars and so on. But I think if I have a Telecaster, I have a Jazzmaster, I have a Epiphone Dot, which is a ES335, I think, inspired, and I have the Les Paul, and I have a Gretsch Electromatic full hollow body that covers a lot of different guitars with humbuckers and single coils and so on, and different full hollow body, semi hollow body, solid body, offset, and standard, and so on. So I think I have a good variation, I think. So at this moment, I think what will be my next step? Do I need a new guitar? Of course I need a new guitar. That is always the answer on that question. But right now I'm pretty satisfied with the kind of guitars I have, and I don't really think that my guitars are I think they are good guitars for their price range. So I get a lot of it's a lot of guitar for the money. I think that is when I look at the Gretsch and the Les Paul, Epiphone Les Paul, and Fender Vintera series Jazzmaster, you get a lot of guitar for that money. So it's very that is enough for me at this point, and I'm still not very talented or expert guitar player. I'm still learning and trying to develop my skills, and maybe if I develop a lot more, I could think that my reward should be an high-end, expensive guitar, a vintage guitar, or something. But that is, that day and that sorrow, I will think. So, that is what I have to talk about regarding my guitars. And if you are interested in discussing this, please leave comments below and tell me about your guitars and what your experience are and so on, and we can have a chat about it. So for today I say thank you very much for listening in, and please hit like and subscribe if you like this, and see you soon. Goodbye.